Relax. Take a breath. Maybe grab a coffee, some tea, or whatever helps you slow down for a moment. Because what you're about to hear isn't just a crime story, it's a question, a very expensive one. And before we get into it, if you enjoy stories that mix mystery, science, history, and a little existential discomfort, take a second to like this video, share it with someone who would enjoy it, and leave a comment with your theory by the end. You'd be surprised how much that helps keep channels like this alive. All right, let's begin. Imagine walking into a museum. You expect silence, polished floors, paintings that have survived wars, empires, revolutions, and time itself. Objects so valuable that we insure them for more money than most people will earn in several lifetimes. Now imagine that one morning, those objects are simply gone. No alarms, no broken glass, no forced entry, just empty frames. This is the story of the most valuable unsolved art heist in history, and more importantly, how it happened at all. In the early hours of March 18, 1990, two men walked up to the side entrance of the Isabella Stewart Gardner Museum in Boston. They were dressed as police officers, which raises our first question: why do we trust uniforms? The night security guard, following protocol, or at least what he believed was protocol, buzzed them in. They told him there had been a disturbance. He stepped away from his desk. Within minutes, the guards were handcuffed, bound, and locked in the basement. For the next 81 minutes, the thieves wandered the museum. 81 minutes. Think about that. They weren't rushing, they weren't panicking, they moved calmly, deliberately, as if they already knew exactly what they were there to take. When the guards were finally freed hours later, 13 works of art were missing. Paintings, sketches, objects of immeasurable cultural value, including works by Rembrandt, Vermeer, Degas. Estimated value? Over $1 billion. And here's the strange part. None of it has ever been recovered. Not a single confirmed piece. So let's ask the obvious question. How do you steal $1 billion worth of art and never sell it? To understand that, we need to understand what was stolen and what wasn't. The thieves didn't take the most famous paintings in the museum. They ignored works that art historians consider priceless. They bypassed objects that would have fetched even higher sums. Instead, they chose very specific pieces. One of them was Rembrandt's The Storm on the Sea of Galilee, his only known seascape. Another was A Lady and Gentleman in Black. They took a small, almost unassuming Vermeer, a bronze eagle finial, a few Degas sketches. But they left behind masterpieces worth more. Which leads to another question. Were these thieves amateurs or experts pretending to be amateurs? The cuts they made to remove the paintings were rough. They sliced canvases out of their frames with blades, damaging them. That suggests inexperience, but the selection suggests knowledge. So which is it? Here's where things get uncomfortable, because art theft doesn't work the way most people think. You can't hang a stolen Rembrandt in your living room. You can't sell it at auction. The moment it appears, alarms go off across the world. Stolen art is radioactive, which means these paintings weren't stolen to be admired. They were stolen to be used as collateral. In the criminal underworld, stolen art functions like a high-value poker chip. It's leverage, a bargaining tool, a way to negotiate reduced sentences, immunity, or access. Which brings us to the theory that dominates this case: organized crime. At the time, Boston had strong ties to the Italian and Irish mob. The FBI believes the heist was connected to a crime family, possibly to fund other operations or to be held as insurance. But despite decades of surveillance, informants, wiretaps, and raids, nothing surfaced. No paintings, no definitive confession. Which raises another question. What if the people who stole the art never intended to keep it? Several suspects linked to organized crime died in the years following the heist. Some were interrogated, some hinted at knowledge. None produced evidence. It's possible the art changed hands multiple times. It's possible it crossed borders. It's possible it was destroyed. And yes, that's a horrifying thought. But here's something even stranger. The museum still displays the empty frames. Think about that. They left the frames on the walls. Not replicas, not placeholders. The empty frames. Why? Because absence is evidence. The frames are a reminder that something once existed there. That value is not just about what we can see, but what we've lost. Which leads us to a deeper question. What is art actually worth? Is it money, history, human effort, or is it meaning? Because if art's value exists in shared experience, then stolen art is almost useless. A painting locked away in a warehouse, buried underground, or sealed in a shipping container ceases to be art in the way we understand it. It becomes an object, a very expensive one. Now let's talk about timing. The heist occurred the day after St. Patrick's Day, a night when police resources were stretched thin, when attention was elsewhere. Coincidence? Maybe. But the thieves also knew something else. The museum's alarm system was outdated. The motion detectors didn't cover certain areas. The guards were unarmed, which suggests prior reconnaissance. But no evidence of inside help was ever proven, which brings us to one of the strangest possibilities. What if the thieves didn't fully understand what they were stealing? Some experts believe the heist was commissioned, that someone told the thieves what to take without explaining why. Think about that. You're hired to steal objects you don't understand. You're paid, you deliver them, and then you're disposable. Which could explain why the trail goes cold so fast. But there's another theory, a darker one. What if the art is gone because it no longer exists? Paintings are fragile. Canvas rots. Oil cracks. Improper storage destroys them. If the art was kept in poor conditions, damp basements, underground vaults, or shipping containers, it could have been ruined within years, which would mean the greatest art theft in history resulted in the destruction of cultural artifacts that survived centuries, only to be lost in silence. And no one would ever admit that, because admitting it would be worse than stealing them. It would mean admitting that they're gone forever. So why hasn't anyone talked? Money is one reason. Fear is another. But there's also something psychological at play. When crimes go unsolved long enough, they stop being crimes and start becoming myths. And myths are powerful. Confessing doesn't just implicate you, it collapses the mystery. It removes the story. And humans, we love stories. Even unresolved ones. Especially unresolved ones. Today, the museum still offers a reward, millions of dollars for information leading to the recovery of the art. Tips come in every year. Most go nowhere. Occasionally, something promising appears. A rumor, a lead, a whisper. And then, nothing. So here's the question that lingers. Is the art hidden, destroyed, traded, forgotten? Or is it waiting? Because as long as the paintings exist somewhere, unseen, unshared, unacknowledged, they exist in a strange state. They are both priceless and worthless, famous and invisible, alive and dead. Which brings us to the final question. If something has immense value, but no one can see it, experience it, or even confirm its existence, does it still matter? Or is value something we create together? Think about that. If you enjoyed this exploration, don't forget to like the video, share it with someone who loves mysteries like this, and leave a comment with what you think happened to the missing art. Because somewhere, maybe right now, those paintings are sitting in the dark. And the only thing keeping them alive is us asking questions about them.